Howdy there. Saw Barney's version yesterday, and I've been looking forward to seeing it because Paul Giamatti is one of my favorite actors, personal hero. Love his work, and he's the star of the show here. He's the leading man. Barney's version, I'm going to give it a 7. A good movie, a solid watch. It's about the life of Barney. It's an epic tale. It covers approximately 50 years of a man's life. It's about his life. So he's married several times. He has children. He has friends come into his life and leave his life. There's a detective hunting him down. It's about Barney's life. It's his life story, and a lot of stuff happens in that life. Again, I'm giving it a 7, basically for the performances. I thought it was a tad clunky. Stars Paul Giamatti, Dustin Hoffman, Minnie Driver. There's a lot more people in there, but those are the only names that are popping into my head right now. I'm trying to remember who directed it. I want to say Richard Lewis, not like that Richard Lewis, but Richard Lewis. I think he also co-wrote it. Don't hold me to that. It's a novel. It's a Canadian novel. It's a Canadian film. Apparently, even though I haven't done much research on it at all, I understand that it's pretty much an iconic Canadian piece of art. That it's amazing novel, huge success up there. Apparently Barney is somewhat of a folk hero. So an entire country very much loves this novel, and I will say that after seeing the movie, I am interested in reading the novel. Certainly it would satisfy me, I think, where the film did not. And why I wasn't satisfied is some very big things happen in this movie. And as in, big life events, and it never seems that we get to dwell on those things for too long. Like, seriously, some bad and depressing things happen, and it's just like, well, on to the next scene. And I never really felt that I saw the character get over that. And maybe that's the point. Maybe he never does get over it. And but again, this is epic, and I guess it's told in a way through flashback, though, and he's narrating the story in a way by, himself, but then the film doesn't wrap up that way. He's not around at the end. So again, I guess the problem is trying to get what I understand to be an epic, very sizable novel into a 2-hour film. You can't cram everything in, and when you try to, it's gonna seem clunky. It's not gonna run so smoothly. So that's my big beef. But again, Paul Giamatti is a hero of mine. This is a career performance for him. I think he's amazing in it. I don't think it's anything pretty new for him, as in I see shades of previous characters in this, none more so than Harvey Pekar from American Splendor. I think you could pretty much watch American Splendor and get the same Paul Giamatti performance as he gives here. In a nutshell. I think that's a very broad statement to make, but Paul Giamatti is brilliant, one of our best actors, and again, he's in every scene here, pretty much. He carries the film. This is a showcase for him, and he delivers. So if you're a Paul Giamatti fan, if you like good acting, then you will love this movie. Or like the movie. I liked the movie a lot. I didn't love it. But I love Paul Giamatti, and he's great here. And whenever he shares the screen with Dustin Hoffman, it's even better. And I tell you what, Dustin Hoffman, I don't seem to see much anymore in big things, but I really wish I did, because I think he's brilliant. He finds little tiny things to do in a scene that if you're not watching him, you're not going to notice. But if you're watching him, then it reveals a lot about it's called stage business. He finds a lot of stage business to do to keep him occupied. And I think that stage business really gets you into his character, and he really draws you in. And whenever he's not in this film a lot, he plays Barney's dad. He's not in it a lot, but he's in it at key scenes for every wedding, funerals, big moments in his life. He calls on his dad. And he just lights up the screen. I mean, really, he's Dustin Hoffman. He's an icon. So to see Paul Giamatti and Dustin Hoffman, acting together is a treat, So that's good. I thought all of the characters seem really fleshed out, because there's a ton of people in this movie. There's lots of faces, and they all seem pretty realized that that they avoided stereotypes, because there's a lot of people to meet. The problem is we may not get to see them that long. They will be there and seem very important, and then not be there any other time during the movie. But again, I tell myself that maybe is kind of what life is like, and I think that that's kind of what they were going for here, is a movie that very much felt like a season of life. I don't know, it was, again, a good movie. And definitely a great vehicle for Paul Giamatti. I really wish I could remember his love interest, the true love of his life, Miriam. I don't know her name, but she was fantastic and beautiful. She was great. One thing that did kind of bug me as well was the detective I mentioned, who's bound and determined to prove that Barney committed a crime, murder actually. And the detective is played by Mark Addy, who, again, the character is not in the film that much, but I don't understand, but he's in it at varying points, like throughout the 50 years that this film covers. So they hired a young actor and threw him in makeup. And I don't know why they picked Mark Addy, just because he's so recognizable, at least to me. Mark Addy is from the Full Monty. He's the hefty guy in Full Monty. He also had an American sitcom for a few years that still runs in syndication, so I just didn't get how they fill the movie with pretty much non-names, no names, no recognizable faces, except for, Hoffman and the main characters, Barney, the dad, the wives you kind of recognize. And then for a seemingly minor character, you get a very recognizable star and throw him in makeup, and I don't know, it just didn't feel right to me. I wish that it kind of took me out of it, honestly. I wish that they had gone with, like everyone else in the movie, a no-name, and because it just threw me off. But I do like Mark Addy, so I mean I enjoyed seeing him. I just thought it was weird casting. To cast such a minor role with such a recognizable face and then bury him in makeup, most of it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I maybe felt it was a little bit too long. I think it's about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Even though we are telling a life story here, I think I mean, I don't know. Maybe I didn't have too much of a problem with the running time. It just stumbled a lot, you know. Just stumbled a little bit. But as romantic comedies go, and I mean, there are some funny moments. I certainly wish it could have been funnier. I thought that there's this totally humorous aspect to Paul Giamatti that was underused here. And humorous though at times it is funny. I just thought it could have been funnier throughout, instead of saving it for, you know, a few choice scenes. The dialogue is really good. Again, it comes from a novel. I imagine the novel is very well written, and I imagine a lot of the dialogue is lifted from the novel, because there's some very quotable things that I, you know, wish I could remember more. But a lot of the characters have a very good way with words. So that's also very good dialogue. Very good dialogue. Again, all the characters seem real. It's just that I wished, I don't know, in a way I wish the movie was longer so I could have learned more about Barney's transition into who he would become. And I don't know, you know, again, I don't know. I wish that I could have savored some of the scenes in his life more, and I wasn't allowed to. So that's about it. I mean, it's a good movie. I think if you're definitely a Paul Giamatti fan, you should rent it when it comes out. And just a general fan of acting, you're going to see some awesome acting. And again, life lessons can be mined from here. And again, it does make me interested to read the book. I would like to maybe check out the novel and see what it's like. Again, an entire country of people think it's an amazing, you know, defining work of art. So it can't be all that bad. But the movie's good. So, whatever. I'll give it a 7. That's Barney's version. Thank you very much.